Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Paul. This is the Beardicus Workshop, and today I have already been very busy. I'm covered in sawdust already, and it's just the start of the day. I'm going to be making something today that I just really enjoy. My grandmother had a game called, she called it Marbles, but it's called Wahoo or Aggravation. It's not an official game. It's just something that I think has been passed down from generation to generation by people who have made this game, at home, and I'm going to continue in that. Although I am changing some rules of the game, and I'm calling it King of the Jungle. So not only is it going to be a marble game, a board game, but it's also going to be a conversation piece and a piece of art that you can hang on the wall. So if that sounds really interesting to you, then follow along with me. I'm going to design it first in the software, and then we're going to stick it in our machine and make this thing. So thanks for joining me. Let's get it done. Okay, so we're going to VCarve Pro, which is the software I use. Now, a lot of these elements I've designed elsewhere, and I'm importing them and placing them where I want them to go. This is the game board side. This is either the front or the back, however you want to look at it. And once I'm done designing that, I flip it over and I put my lion, which I believe is the king of the jungle, on there. We render it, and there you go. What do you think? Looks pretty cool, huh? I'm going to be going into my messy table here. I need is a 20 by 20 inch piece, and I don't know if this is going to fit it. This is my last big piece of oak here, and it's oak plywood, but I really like it. If I don't use that, I have maple plywood, so I'm going to measure this real quick and see. Oh no, I didn't think it was 20 inches. I could redesign, or I could go with maple. We're going with maple. Should take better care of my wood, and typically I do, but I've been so crazy busy making flags lately, selection season, that I've just been, my shop is a disaster, but I'm going to get it cleaned up soon. In the meantime, we have a nice piece of maple plywood. I mean, it's not really maple, but it's, it is maple, but it's plywood. It's good stuff. Now typically I would clean up these edges here, but I'm not going to today because this is going to be cut into a circle. So all this edge material is waste anyway. No reason to do extra work if you don't have to. So now we're going to get strapped into the CNC machine, into my Poco. Now, I don't use a lot of clamps because I have a vacuum table system as well. It does a good job. It's not perfect, but it does help, and so I don't need a lot of clamps. But now we're going to go to our CAM software and get this machine going. Now, I always keep my X and Y right here. It's always right there. I don't ever have to move it. It's pretty awesome. It's one of the great things about having a fence. There are times when I have maybe round objects or something that's an unusual shape, I might have to change it, but for the most part it's always there. So now I can just go to, I click rapid to current XY, and it brings it all the way over here. Let's move this screwdriver. You should never leave objects up there. Bad idea. And there it is. Now the bit in there is a 90 degrees, so we're going to change that. So on this project, the first thing I'm going to do is the back, and that is just one tool path. It's a 60-degree V-bit, and this is an Amana tool. It's a 1/4 inch 60-degree V-bit from Amana. I'll put a link to all the bits I use in this video. Now, if you have a Shapeoko and you have the carbide compact router that it comes with, this right here, this button, it does break, and so you don't want to use it to tighten it. You want to use it just to get it tight, a little tight, kind of hand tight, and then you use your wrenches. I recommend using these wrenches, which I will link to as well. The ones that it came with are garbage. There we go. So now we have that on there, and now what we need to do is to set the Z axis. I have the X and Y all set right here, but we need the Z. This is what my bills are for. I keep these bills handy. They do really good job at helping me set my Z height. It's the only thing bills are good for. So I put it down just gradually, one step at a time, until it doesn't move, and then I zero the Z, boom, and we're done. All right, let's get this machine going. So now that we have our zeros set, we're gonna go to run, we're gonna load new file, go select that, and loads it. It says it's gonna be an hour and 14 minutes. I don't always trust this. For some reason, it's off and off, so I just hope for the best. All right, so we're gonna start the job, and we push start again, and then we're gonna come over here to my laser area, and there's a mess, and we're gonna turn on the vacuum table. That's sucking it down, and then dust collector, ooh, there he goes. Yeah, now it's really nice and loud in here. And sit tight, here is my montage. Second step in this is to go ahead and switch to my 20-degree V-bit, and that will be it right there. That will carve out the words and the animals. So now that we have that phase of it done, let's go and take a look at it. And it came out pretty good. I expected to have some cleanup work to do. No big deal. There we go. Alright. So now we switch to the 1/2-inch ball nose bit, and that is going to come and it's going to drill all the holes that we need. And after that, then we do the down cut bit. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So I'm using this little keyhole bit that I got from Bits and Bits. I think it was Bits and Bits. I'll find that and I'll put it in the description below. But I don't use it that often, but I use it every once in a while to do exactly what I'm doing right now. So come to me. I'd like to say I've done this before. Successfully, at least. But I'd be lying if I did. I am controlling it with this, and I'm just going to turn this thing on and hopefully get it right the first time. There is no second time. Get it wrong, then that's it. Turn on the vacuum table. I think that's good. job. Is it perfect? Nah, nothing's ever perfect. I don't care. Now I'm going to do some finishing work, which you don't care anything about. So basically, I'm going to take this little thing right there, and maybe this little thing right here. Maybe I'll take this too. And I'm going to finish this thing and make it look pretty. And you'll see that in just a second. So what we're going to do next is get some dark walnut spray. I use a Rust-Oleum dark walnut. And I'm going to just spray this whole thing down. I'm not worried about getting it on the outer edges because I'm going to take sander and just sand off all the excess. It's going to be pretty great. All right, looks good. We're going to let that dry and then we're going to sand it off. You want to help, River?
Yes.
All right, let's get this. So we're going to sand this off. So you're going to hold on tight to that, okay? You hold on tight. Now let's turn it on.
You're gonna have to help.
Now, if you could look at that, you'll see how a lot of the spray paint got left in the grains of the wood. Typically, I would spray maybe a shellac or some sort of sealing liquid to seal it before I spray paint. But I knew that I was going to burn it, and so I didn't worry about that. I kind of like the extra paint in there when it's done. It's going to look really cool. So now we're going to burn it.
I'm gonna burn it.
Go get my torch. Don't get too close.
I smell dinner.
All right.
Look at that elephant. Now the tiger. Oh, I didn't know it was a panther. And now the gorilla. Look at that gorilla. Gorillas are supposed to be black, so I understand why you're burning. Ooh, that was burn. That burns.
So now we are going to use some Danish oil. This is natural color. Good. Perfect. There you go.
Ooh, that's a pretty color.
Isn't it pretty? Very good. All right.
It's gonna be pretty. Can I do it?
You're doing very good.
Ooh, that looks good over here.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you get over there, it goes darker where you burned it.
All right, so it is burned on both sides and finished with Danish oil. Now we have to take this to my wife, who is our
Painter.
detail lady. She's our painter, and we're gonna get the dots and everything painted up the way they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And after that, I finish it with the shellac, and I do quite a few coats because there is a certain sound I want to hear when rolling dice, and you have to really work to get the sound. It's very important. So that's what we're doing next, right?
Yep.
So my wife has done a fantastic job at painting this. What I did, I put 2 coats of shellac on it, and then I handed it over to her. And because it has shellac on it, it's sealed. What she does is she puts the paint in there and wipes off the excess. Makes for an easy painting session. I'm really bad at detail work. So now I'm going to go ahead and sand it with the 240 grit sandpaper, and get a lot of that shellac off, and then we're going to put another coat on there because we want this to sound amazing. That when the dice hit the board, you want it to have this sound that's just crisp and awesome. If it doesn't have the sound, it's not a good game board in my opinion. So let's get this thing sanded. Now we'll go get us some shellac. Let that dry and I'll sand it off, do another coat. And here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's pretty awesome, guys. Just gonna tell you, it's really cool. There you go. Oh my gosh, look. Yeah, you can't see it, but there's a little thumbprint right there. This is my own little personal touch. So here we go. Let's listen. You hear that? Oh boy. That's the way it's supposed to sound. That's it. I look for that. You know, you hear that? That's not right. Let's try it on a different. No, that's not right. That's not correct. Here's my it doesn't sound right. No, you've got to work for that finish so that you can get that sound. There you go, and that's it. The game is awesome, by the way. Get this. I guarantee you will love this game. It's a lot of fun. And when you're done playing it, though, you just kind of hang it up and you have yourself an awesome piece of art. So much for watching. You made it to the end of the video, and it was a really cool build. I enjoyed designing it. I enjoyed making it. You know, working with my children in my shop is one of the joys of life. And you know, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to watch this. And if you like this, go ahead and hit the like button and then subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification icon. That way you'll be notified when I post new content. Now, if you really like this marble board, King of the Jungle is for sale on my website. So it's beardicus.art, and you can just check out everything I make there. Most everything is custom ordered. Most of it's not in inventory, but I will make it the second you order it. So just check that out. I really appreciate it. And until next time, grow a beard already.